Good evening, my friends. This is Angie Stewart from My Inner Light here in Kardec Radio. How are you all doing? It's 9:03. We are live and we are hoping that tonight our program will go fine. The internet connection will be good and we will be able to broadcast and it will be successful. We are always running into internet issues and I already bought so many machines. I changed everything. I called a technician to come here to change the whole thing and it's still not working. So I don't know what's happening. But let's hope, let's pray that everything will be fine tonight. We never know what can happen. Anyway, so while our friends are getting connected, we can just remind you, if you are new here, we always ask to everybody to have a bottle of water so the enlightened spirits can really give you positive energy, positive fluids to your water, and then it will be your own medication. Even if you are not sick, it will be your medication to make you happy, to make you uplift, to make you like a superstar. You will be facing any types of adversities, but with a positive attitude. And that's what we all need. We need positive attitude. We need love to shine. Anyway, so we always start with a short prayer to connect with the enlightened spirits. And then we can talk a little bit more about a few things that are going to start to happen in the Spiritism, in the Spiritist movement in the US and also in Brazil, okay? Dear God, thank you very much for another opportunity of being here connected at Kardec Radio to talk about Spiritism and to understand a little bit more about these two beautiful books that we'll be reading tonight, especially about mediumship. Please stay with us, help all of us to connect, to be able to feel good and to understand everything we'll be talking, and also to capture inspiration from the enlightened beings. Thank you so much, so be it. So very good, my friends. First of all, this is the book that we will be studying tonight, Among Brothers of Other Lands, and also the Gospel according to Spiritism. One thing that I wanted to mention is that all over the world, people start watching the new movie about Kardec. So this movie was launched in Brazil, I believe, a few weeks ago. But now it will be launched in United States and all over the world. It will be launched through Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you will have this wonderful opportunity to watch the movie in your home. And there are many spiritist centers and many people, including me, organizing parties, organizing events in order to be able to watch the movie together. And then after the movie, we can also have the beautiful Q&A, we can talk about it, and it will be great to all of us. So if you have Netflix, it will be launched on this month on the 29th. So this is one of the good things. The other thing is that I will start using the application that will connect Facebook, and I will be able to show you websites. I will be able to show my presentations. So it will be more interactive. It will be easier for us. I tried tonight, but it didn't work out. So I will try next time and hopefully it will be positive. So tonight we are starting chapter 10 of this book. The title is In Regarding to Mediumship. So mediumship is a subject that in America is already a big issue because a mediumship, unfortunately, through the years, through the times, and through many people, it was misused. It was badly misused until nowadays. Until nowadays, there are thousands of people that use constantly mediumship in a bad way. So there are people that charge many others, and unfortunately, many times it's not even mediumship. It's really a lie. You know, people that charge you. Usually, most of the time, people that charge you to tell something about your life, to tell you about your future, they will try to take advantage of you. So be careful. Recently, a lot of people wrote to me about going to famous people that play tarot cards, people that they are horoscope map creators, and many other types of things, and that they already spent a lot of money, and in the end they didn't agree with that, or whatever. So I just want you to understand that the mediumship is real. It's not a lie. It's real. It happens. I am a medium. So yes, I see dead people. Like thousands of people, they see it. So it is a normal condition of human beings that certain people, they possess it, they have it. So it's not something super extraordinary. But yes, it can be different for people that never ever saw anything or never heard anything. But think, if you think closely, if you think about your own life and that you imagine that many times you already received inspiration, you were like thinking about something and you're deeply distraught and you didn't know what type of decision to take, and suddenly you had that inspiration, you had something positive, something that told you go here, or calm down, don't do this right now. So this is also mediumship. Mediumship is this medium, the person. The person is the one who connects with the spirit. So medium is a person that connects with a spirit, a discarnated person. So it's the person that makes this bridge. So it's a medium. And through this mediumship, it's beautiful because first of all, we are able to fully understand that there is life after the death of our physical body. So we have this physical body for certain amount of years, but then when this time period finishes, our physical body will die and our spirit will continue living until one day that we will have another opportunity to come back. We are going to come back again. We are going to reincarnate. We are going to live again, and this time in another body, in a baby body. So we will start all over. So these are the very simple way to talk about mediumship and to talk about reincarnation. Two concepts that are particularly difficult in America. It's already difficult in Brazil, but it's very difficult in America to make you to understand, because you know, when in America, when you talk about the mediumship, you connect it with some kind of witch. You know, the witches in the US, that many people were called witches and they were burned alive. So they were like in that time, the people thought they were like very close to devil or something really horrible. So in Salem, Massachusetts, in the US. So this is something part of the history and the memory of most of Americans. So they don't like to deal with it. They immediately start thinking Spiritism deals with some kind of a negative thing, some kind of a bad energy that we kind of evoke spirits. And the Spiritism is not like that. Even the medium Chico Xavier from Brazil, very, very strong medium, he used to say the phone, the spiritual phone, rings from there here. So it means that we really do not call the spirits. We shouldn't, at least. We shouldn't be calling spirits to come to join us. But whenever they want, they come and they will give us a message. And as we know, there are places that are perfect for that. You know, there are places that we call spiritist centers, and in these places they are protected. And because they are protected, people in very small groups are able to create mediumship meetings in order to help incarnated people that are living here, that are sick, that are affected by spirits. Because if you imagine, we can't have every single person on earth liking us. No, it's impossible. Some people like us, some people don't like us. Imagine in the spiritual world. So just because a person died, it does not change the person. Whatever you are here, you will be when you die. So if you are a nice person here, you will be nice when you die. If you are a very mean person, very angry, very nasty, when you die, you will continue the same way. But when we are free for our physical bodies, it will be easier for us to understand what we need to improve. Will be easier for us to understand we are an eternal spirit that needs improvement. So these are little things that will really help us, in our evolutionary process. So whenever we try to talk to people in the US about this subject, it's always tense, it's always difficult, it's always full of bad back history. But it's important for us to know deeper, to know a little bit deeper, because when we know it, we will be able to explain the differences. If you don't know, if you ignore, if you just say, oh, mediumship is like people that talk to spirits, it's going to be very difficult for you to deal with people that has no idea of what it is. So it's important for you to understand that's not a joke, that you shouldn't be doing this in your home, that you should never pay someone to tell you something about mediumship. You should never pay someone or even yourself to call spirits to come to talk to you, because it's not good. Whenever you study deeply mediumship, and you can study the book in the Allan Kardec codification, Book of the Mediums, or the Mediums book, it's a very thick book, and there is all kinds of important explanations, historical facts, difference of types of mediumships, and also different types of spirits and how do they act. So we also understand there are spirits that are extremely intelligent, but they are low level of morality, meaning they are not good morally speaking, but they are very clever. So they can lie to you. So if you have this thing that you are inviting spirits and you are naming them and you think they are answering, they might not be the ones you really want. The most important thing is believe in God, believe in Jesus, be positive, and do not try to practice any type of mediumship alone. If you are a medium, go to a spiritist center or buy the medium's book and educate yourself. try to understand every single detail so you can protect yourself too. A lot of people talk about, oh, I see spirits, I see dead people, I'm frightened, I don't want to see it, it is horrible. Yes, it can be frightening when you don't know it, but you can educate yourself, you can protect yourself, you can elevate your energy, and then you will be connecting with good spirits. You will be connecting with more enlightened spirits that just want your good. They just want to protect you. So this is what we need to do. So I will start talking this chapter. It's 9:20 and I will start now. But this chapter is very important and it is very big. We usually read chapters that are 2 pages, and this is 2, 4, 6, 5. 2, 4, 5. These are, no, 2, 4. Oh yeah, I don't even know math. 5 pages. So it's a lot of information for us to be able to go through one session. And today it was not supposed to happen, this study. So that's why I see there are very few people connected. Most of the people did not get the information that even if today is not the day we do the studies, it was going to happen anyway. Last week, I couldn't be here. My family is here, so I was out. So today, I really just want to grow through certain things that are very important and that you might know, you might not know, but are very important, and they create the base for this important study. So I already spoke a lot about the mediumship and the do's and the don'ts. And I'm going to talk about the author of this text. So in this text, Brother X, he will tell us a story. He will tell us a story that happened to him and other people. So it's a very interesting story. But for us to understand this story, it's very important to understand also who is the author. So he signs this text as Brother X. And as you can see, Brother X is a code name, is a nickname. It's not his real name. So it's a very interesting story that happened in Brazil between this person and the Brazilian medium Chico Xavier. So who is Brother X? So let's break the, how can I say, let's break the curiosity, the suspense. Let's break the suspense and let's say Brother X, his real name is Humberto de Campos. So who was Humberto de Campos? Humberto de Campos was a very bright and super well-known journalist. And then he became also an author of many books. He wrote very different types of books, and some books he had a very typical personalized way of writing. So people who understood about literacy, I think, literature also, understand his style of writing. So they can read the text and they can say, oh, this is from Humberto de Campos. Anyway, so Humberto de Campos, he ended up dying. And then when he went to the spiritual realm, he decided that he wanted to continue writing chronicles. He wanted to continue writing. And he connected with the spirit, Chico Xavier, and he was able to send poems, to send short stories, not just him, but many, many others. But in his particular case, what happened is that when the messages were published by Chico Xavier friends, the Spirit Center, or people start circulating messages, and had many different names of spirits, many different names of famous authors, usually from Brazil. People start questioning if it was real, if it was not real, and a lot of people start saying it was actually from Chico Xavier himself. He was the one writing these messages and telling people that famous people did it. So people start saying that the Chico Xavier was a liar because he was copying the work of famous writers, saying they are writing, and because it's impossible, because a lot of people like to say the dead never returned to say how it is in the other side. But we in Spiritism, we understand they do. They do. They return a lot. They return a lot. And most of the time to tell us about how is in the other side in a bad way. Because they were people that here on earth committed many mistakes and they hurt a lot of people. And when they arrive in the other side, they are hurting. They are feeling bad. They get anguished. So they like to come to the Spiritist centers to tell their history, to help others to avoid the same type of mistake. So coming back to Humberto de Campos. So Humberto de Campos' family did not go into this way, saying that Chico Xavier was lying. His family actually took a very different type of action. They sued. Yes, they went in the legal field and they sued Chico Xavier for like for example, for a patent. You have to pay direitos autorais. You have to pay in order to be able to use that type of material. So Humberto de Campos' family sued Chico Xavier. They believed the writings were really from Humberto de Campos, but now you have to pay us. So if the spirit of my husband, the spirit of my father is sending you messages that will be published in a book, you have to pay me so I can allow this to go through. So this was something very unexpected, was something really like, whoa, everybody is saying Chico Xavier is a liar, and then comes this family saying, I don't even know if he's a liar or not, but if this is this person, you have to pay me to publish it. So this situation was not a fast one resolved. This was a long problem. This was something that hurt Chico Xavier deeply. He was writing his first book when this happened, and he really didn't know how to act, and he was very poor. He was extremely afraid to be in jail because he had no money to pay anything. Imagine a lawyer. So it was something very difficult, very long. Next time I can do a little summary of how it was resolved. I will also publish in our Facebook page, My Inner Light. I will publish summaries of the history of Brother X. But long story short, what happened is that Humberto de Campos himself decided that every time he was going to send a message through Chico Xavier, he was not going to use his own name anymore. He was going to use the nickname Brother X, because doing so, he was going to avoid legal problems for Chico. Brother X, Humberto, he only wanted to help people. He loved writing, so he wanted to continue doing it. But of course, he never imagined using his own name could cause so much trouble. But so that's why from this time on, he does not use his own name and he becomes Brother X. So all this explanation is to tell you why Brother X, and that this text is from him. Another name that we are going to see in the second paragraph is Fred Figner. Fred Figner, or Frederico Figner. So Frederico Figner was also a very important person in Brazil. So he was not Brazilian. He came to Brazil, and when he came, he was, I believe he was Jewish. Yes, he was Jewish. Let me see if I have some quick information here. Yes, so he was Jewish, and he was from, they believe it was from Austria, Hungary, his family, and he moved to Brazil. And during his life in Brazil, he was a big entrepreneur. So he loved doing things. He had some powerful friends, and he met a lot of people that were doing amazing things in the United States. And he was thinking, why not to bring this to Brazil? So he was the first person, or one of the first persons that brought to Brazil the LPs. How do you call the LP? LP. The music, the big long players, the music long players from the past that they are actually returning with full power now. My own teenager son has many records, and he keeps buying the records because he said the sound quality is much better than CD or cloud or whatever. So he was able to bring this technology to listen to music in long players to Brazil. And you can just imagine how it boomed. So he very quickly he became a strong entrepreneur. He did many other things, many other things, and he became spiritist. And because he was a very active person, he was always doing a lot of things. He created many companies, and one of the things he created was really the artistic home. That's a house for artists that are retired. They have no place to go, and maybe they didn't get famous, and they need a place to spend their last years with other people, helping them, taking care of them. But many other things. He was like a strong entrepreneur. When he died, people discovered that many of his companies, a big portion of his money, was actually donated to Chico Xavier activities, all the charities that Chico Xavier had created or that he was helping. So as you can imagine, Frederico Figner was a man that was really very charitable. He was a man that really was disconnected of all the money he made. He made so much money. He was very well known, but he was disconnected of it. And then you imagine, wow, this guy is so evolved. He brought so much a betterment to Brazil, if you can talk about it. He became a spiritist. He organized the meetings. He created the Spiritist Center. He did many charitable things. He went to donate soup to the poor. So you imagine that a person that did so much like this will be really well when he crosses to the other side, when he goes to the spiritual realm. This is what we all think. And this is what should happen. That's why when we live our lives, we are always trying. I'm talking about myself. We are always trying to behave. We are always trying to avoid negative thoughts. We are always trying to be more positive. We are always trying to say good things to other people. I'm always trying to make friends, to have friends, not to have enemies. Who wants to have enemies? Who wants to have people that you are fighting all the time? We don't want this. We want to be positive. We want to do good. We are always trying to improve ourselves. So being more charitable, doing something to help others. Think about, if your life is good, this is a blessing. Remember, you are on Earth, and in this planet here, we are still in the level that lots of things are happening here. This is not an elevated planet yet. We are trying to do better. We are starting the regenerative process of the planet Earth, but we still will feel for a long time this planet is of trials and expiations. In a planet of trials and expiations, you will feel pain. There will be hatred. There will be things that will hurt us just to think about. And yes, it's happening now. So we have to do our own part. We have to try to do good. We have to try to show to the world that there will be improvement. I am doing it. So do your part. Do not think too much about, oh, this neighbor is not doing it. Oh, that person is not doing it. Don't think about it. Do your part. Do little things that are important. One of the things that I talk all the time, let's help our planet. For example, here in Florida, they are trying to pass a law that will forbid plastic bags. It's very difficult. They are trying to make it happen, but while it doesn't happen, let's do our part. So bring your own bags to the supermarket. I have a huge amount of bags that I bring all the time. And when a person goes to pack, I help to pack and I say, no, 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 no plastic. Let's all put here. And I bring my own bags. So certain supermarkets, they actually give you few cents of discount for bringing your own bag. And other supermarkets, they just don't do anything, but it doesn't matter. The cashier, the person who is packing, the others, they are all looking. They are all looking, and they might even think, what a waste of time. But in my own conscience, this is good. I'm helping the planet. Imagine if every time I go to the supermarket to buy the monthly purchases, I don't need another 20 plastic bags. This, I'm helping the planet. So this is what we have to do. We have to do our own share, even if it's very small, and it will help the others. So as I was mentioning before, the suspense can be interesting. So you can research about Frederico Figner and what happened to him after he discarnated, because I'm sure it's all over the internet. But I will tell you a little summary in our next meeting that will be next week. And I will tell you what will happen and why it happened. The most important thing is like why it happened. So it will be very interesting for us to understand. So tonight, actually, I did not start the chapter because these two things are very important. What is mediumship? Why it's so misunderstood in the United States? Who was Brother X? Who is Frederico Figner? So try to get this information, and next week I will bring more concepts about this, and hopefully I will be able to share my screen, so I will connect with a few web pages that will help you to understand it better. So right now I want to stop here because I want to go to the gospel. The gospel is so neglected. We haven't been doing it. The internet disconnect. All kinds of things happen. So today it's a miracle that we have 20 minutes so we can actually study the gospel for a little bit. That's very, very good. So Let's go. So the gospel, we stopped in chapter 5. Chapter 5, and the title is Blessed Are the Afflicted. My throat is so dry, I hope I'm not getting sick. So the last time I said that we were going to talk about this title that is To Suffer Well or Badly. It's number 18. So if you have the gospel, go to chapter 5, item 18. And we have to understand what is suffer well, what is suffer badly. There is a big difference here, and we should all know the big difference, because we should all try to suffer if we need to suffer, understanding that the suffering is necessary in our evolutionary path. Because as I just mentioned, we are on planet Earth that's starting the regenerative phase, but we will still feel as a planet of trials and expiations. So there is a lot of suffering here. But what is suffer well and what is suffer badly? So there are lots and lots of things that we can talk about here. I will read a little part and comment, and please feel free to write anything, to ask anything. I hope the internet is working, because I don't see anybody asking anything. So I hope the internet is working, is not frozen. But I will read this part on my book, is page 127. Prayer. No, let's start here. God refuses your consolation because you lack courage. You lack courage. So this sentence is very strong. God refuses your consolation because you lack courage. So this is something for us to wake up. And many times we are going through a problem, something is happening, and we get desperate. We get desperate, we start crying, or worse, people revolt against God. And we know this is really bad, because it's like, imagine if you are a young person and you did something bad, and your mother or father came and they told you the truth, and they said, look, this is really wrong, this is really bad, you should never have done it, but now that you did, you have to face the consequences. And they explain why. Because you need to learn. You need to learn with this experience, and you need to not do it again. If a mother and father, they do it, imagine God. So what God expects from us is courage to face adversities. If we did something wrong and there are bad consequences, face it. You didn't know, or maybe you took a chance, or whatever is the real situation, it happened. So God expects us to have a courage to face whatever adversity. So the worst thing is to rebel against God. The best thing would be to pray, to connect with the elevated spirits, to ask for guidance, to ask for strength in order to overcome it. Because as Chico Xavier used to talk, everything shall pass. The good things, you cannot be happy forever, and the bad things, because you cannot suffer forever. So everything shall pass, the good and the bad. And we have to continue straight on our path, trying to overcome everything. So it continues. Prayer is a support for the soul, but it is not enough. It must be based on living faith in God's goodness. You have often been told that God does not put heavy burdens on weak shoulders. The burden is proportional to the strength. just as the reward will be proportional to the resignation and courage. The reward will be greater than the affliction is painful. However, one must merit that reward, and that is why life is full of tribulations. So the mathematical equation is prayer plus faith plus resignation plus merit plus work. So this is what we should do. So we should pray. We should pray to be able to have some enlightenment, some insight, some help, some support. But we have to have faith that we are able to cope with whatever is happening. We have to have resignation to understanding if this happened to me, then I have to be strong and know it will pass. It will pass somehow. I have to have merit to help it to pass faster. So if I'm a person that's always doing something bad all the time, and suddenly I ask for help and I hope it will pass really quickly, which I should be more, how could I say, I should be aware that if someone is always doing something bad against others, the consequences will come quickly. And another thing, we have to work. Whatever is going on, whatever we are going through, we have to do our own work. We have to physically work to help it to pass. Doesn't matter what situation. Imagine you lost your job. It's a very bad situation, especially in America, that we don't have mother, father, we don't have an uncle, we don't have anyone to help us. So if something like this happens, it's really shocking, it's really tough. So if we lock ourselves in an apartment and we cry forever and we don't come out, this is going to be difficult to be resolved. So you need to have faith, it will pass, but you have to work. You have to get out of your house. You have to knock in the doors, in the companies, in the restaurants, whatever, what type of field you have. Send your resumes and be active, working on trying to find another job. This is in the example of a job. But whatever situation, if we don't do our part, if we don't do our work, it will not happen. So this is super, super important. Another sentence important is, be content when God sends you into battle. This battle is not one of a gunfire, but the bitterness of life, where sometimes more courage is needed than in a bloody combat. So whenever we go through this type of situations, it is difficult. But whenever we go through it and we overcome it, we are building resistance. We are getting stronger. So we are learning, we are improving. So whenever this happens to somebody else and a person comes to you desperate, my life is terrible, I don't know what I'm going to do. You have experience, you went through something similar, and you have to say, calm down, breathe, inhale, exhale. You have to calm down in order to be able to start processing what happened and how you're going to act. So this type of sufferings, they are important to help us. And then he continues, blessed are the afflicted. May be translated thusly. Blessed are those who have the opportunity to test their faith, firmness, perseverance, and submission to God's will, for they will receive 100 times the joy they lacked on earth, and after labor will come repose. So try to do your best here, and even if doing your best here, you do not receive a recompense. We were talking about work, but imagine if this is a different type of work. Imagine if you are in a family that people do not understand you. You try to do the best. You try to be a loving son, a loving mother, a loving person, and the people don't understand you. People are always mistreating you. Whatever is the situation, you feel hurt, you feel in pain, you want to throw everything away. You want to say, I don't care, I don't want to ever see these people again. Yes, this is the moment of rebelliousness that we all have it. We all go through this type of things, but as a spiritist, you should relax, meditate, breathe, and you should think, they do not understand me, but maybe in a past life I hurt them. I might have done something for them to feel like this nowadays. And I was able to evolve, but they didn't. So I was able to forgive them and try to be a better son, daughter, mother, whatever. But they are not. So do not hold resentment to people that do not understand you, that do not love you. Just try to be yourself in the best way positive, praying for them. If the relationship is extremely difficult, extremely painful, yes, you do not need to be with them all the time. You do not need it. When Jesus said, forgive your enemies, he did not say, go out with your enemies, spend a weekend together, invite him to live in your same apartment. It's not that. Do not return the same hatred. Do not remain with that negative feeling. Forgive the person. Imagine the person is sick. Imagine the person is saying all these things about you because this person is not thinking well. And try to build a better relationship, even if sometimes you need to push yourself a little bit away. You need to give time for yourself and for the other person, and hopefully the situation will be better. But if it doesn't, try to do your best, and in the next life you will be able to understand it. So this is the most important thing. So suffer well means that we will all go through the suffering, but suffer badly. What is suffer badly? Suffer badly is the person that is very angry, it's crying, it's hurting, it's cursing, the person that suddenly is against God, for example. Why God did this to me? I'm such a good son, I'm such a good daughter, and this is happening. This is suffer badly. Suffer well is not that you're going to enjoy suffering. It's so good to suffer. Ooh, I like it. No. Suffer well is to understand I have to go through it. Let me pray so I can go it in a better way. Let me have resistance to overcome it. Let me see the future because it will shall pass. Let me connect with people that might be able to help me. Let me go to a spirit center because someone there might be able to give me fraternal counseling and I can talk about it. Let me call my best friend because maybe the person will be able to show me something that I still can't see, or can clear my mind of this stress. This is suffer well, but the suffering will be to everyone. So there are some times that we see two people going through the very similar suffering, and one person is saying, yes, it's very difficult, but they both had the same type of accident. And one person was it's happy because they did not die. So yes, it's very difficult, it's very painful, it's blah, 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 but I'm happy, I am alive, I'm happy that I have my family, that I have work, blah, blah, blah. And they suffer badly. I cannot believe this happened to me. It shouldn't happen. The person who made this to happen should go to jail. Or this, I'm going to fight until the end of my days to put that person in jail. Doesn't matter if even someone attacked you or not. But being so angry about something is not going to help you. It's not going to change. Yes, if someone committed something illegal, yes, they should be put in jail. But imagine if someone hit you and disappear, for example, you cannot find this person. Do not waste all your life hating this person. You know, pray for yourself so you will be able to heal this hatred within you. We will be able to forgive this person and talk about it. So maybe you will help others not to go through the same type of pain. So this is suffering well, and it's important for us to learn and know that when we are going through, it's normal to suffer badly. It's normal to be angry. It's normal to be like, ah, why this happened to me? What is not normal is after an hour, a day, to continue with this attitude. This is not normal because you are a spiritist, you should know better. So if you're going through this for weeks, be careful. You have to change your attitude. You have to change your thought waves. You have to disconnect from it. Do everything I said. Do search for a good friend to help you. Go to a spiritist center. Pray more intensely. Take a good book. Do things that will be able. Join Kardec Radio. So this all will be able to help your level of energy to boost, to go high. So you will change your mental waves to a more positive attitude. And maybe your pain, your suffering will be the same, but you will be able to feel a little bit better. And you even say, it's funny, my situation did not change. My mind is different. I see it in a better way. So this is how we have all to go through. I wanted so much to talk about many other items here because it's so big, but I think it was important for us to understand what is suffer well and what is suffer badly. So next time I will be talking about evil and its remedy, and hopefully we can also talk happiness is not of this world. We basically talked about this item tonight when I explained that we are still in a planet that's going through lots of bad issues. But if we are here, it's because we need it. We need to go through it in order to improve ourselves. So I cannot believe that I'm finishing on time. It's a miracle. It's very, very good. So this week is August 22nd. Let me just look here. Remember, as I said in the beginning, August 29 will be, they will launch the movie Kardec on Netflix. So wherever you are, if you have Netflix, I'm not sure about the whole world, but in the US for sure, on the 29th, you can search for Kardec, the movie, and you can watch it in your house. The movie is in Portuguese, but it has English subtitles, and maybe you will be able to change also the language to English. Who knows? I haven't seen yet, so I don't know about it. But I just would like to say thank you so much for all of you being here. And let's do our final prayer so we can continue connected with the positive thoughts, okay? Dear God, beloved Master Jesus, our guardian angels, the spiritual guides that protect my inner light and also Kardec Radio, thank you so much for your presence, your inspiration, your help. Please send these good vibrations to our friends that were not here today, but might be listening to it later on. Thank you so much. So be it. Very good, my friends. Very happy to be here. Hopefully you can join us again next Thursday. We will be having our normal session, and I will continue talking about Brother X, Frederico Figner, and a little bit more about our gospel. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Bye. See you.